Act 4-5, Imaginary Place. This is a very difficult mission coming up, guys, with lots of fun firefights, and it is taken from a very comparable design to a multiplayer map known as Escalation. This is one of the most iconic staircases in video games for me. This might as well be that one road in San Francisco, because when I think of staircase and attacking and sieging and fighting back hordes, I think of this map. I also think of how incredibly dark it is in the multiplayer and how easy it was for the locusts to hide when you came up against the knobhead, but this is going to be a lot of enemies here. There will be Therons with torque bows. Do you see that? That right there was another boom that did not have a parabolic arc. Did you see that? If you slow that down, see it? Doesn't look parabolic to me, does it? Crazy. Sometimes they are, but on a few of them, they fire the boom shot straight. It's wonderful. But be careful pushing up here, because the Therons that you will bump into, and especially the drones, have lancers. So this is the first part of the game where being chainsawed is definitely something that can happen, and I know that because I've been chainsawed here a lot. That is a shotgun as well, be very careful. The best thing you can do against a shotgun is get distance, because the pellets do no damage after a certain point. They do such tiny damage. And right now, you're in no threat from this guy. He will hit you because his aim is good, but he will not hurt you because he can't. And if you wait for the crosshair to go red, you can shoot this guy through the bush. It's not actually good cover, that tree. But just be careful, because you do not want to get close to this enemy. He'll embarrass you. They always do. Watch out for his grenades as well, because he likes to get busy with the fizzy. But keep on pushing forward, getting rid of these guys, and then there's going to be another spawn of Therons at the top. I think it might be one on each side, but he has a torque and you need to move. You see that? That was some Neo shit right there. He could have easily killed me if he wanted to, but the problem that he made is he didn't crank it fully. That was a half cranked. He only had a semi when he came to prison rape me, and thus he gets turned into meat chunks. And there was only one Theron, so it wasn't even a pair. I think I would have done two there, one for each side depending on where the player went. But at the beginning of the house, in the Phoenix Estate, which is what I wish it was pronounced like, but everybody says Phoenix, even though it's not even spelt that way, which has triggered me for more years than most people have played Gears of War. But throw the grenade into the emergence hole, and then once you've done that, you can meet the guys on the balcony. But there's a couple of dudes that are going to spawn in the opposite alcove on the balcony, and you can go up to them and throw grenades. You can go in there and get up close and personal, but I'm going to shoot them from a distance so that I don't have to run back and trigger the cutscene, I think. Which is one of the things I've kind of always done here. And this is the moment where I'm really missing the fact I had to drop my long shot. Because the long shot is a weapon that makes a fight like this, like null and void. It's so... you don't even remember it. And we're going to get the long shot back, so don't worry, guys. But the Lancer, I said at the beginning of the guide, is the best weapon in the game, and it is, for its sheer utility. But the long shot for a circumstance like this, if you can sit down on your shots and take your time, it's wonderful. And so too is the torque bow for same reasons. But I will say one thing that I like in the newer versions of Gears more than I like in this one, and it's the damage omen. The omen in the middle of the screen in this one looks a lot more like a very rigid stamp, whereas in the later games it's a lot more blurry and ill-defined, and I think it just makes it look a lot cooler when it's distorted like that. So that's definitely something I think they've improved on. Another thing they've improved on, of course, is just how the cover works and how intuitive the movement is, but that's something that comes in time anyway. Gears of War 3 was really good for that, so you can't give all the credit to the most recent Gears. But I would be pretty silly not to confirm as well. Am I going to get the ammo? Oh, who knows. Oh, by the way, guys, be careful coming down these stairs, because you trigger a spawn that has a guy with a shotgun, and if he hits you with all those pellets, it's goodnight Irene, and you have to do the fight again. I'm not a big fan of how they spawn things in this estate. There are two instances of this. This one on the is it technically the right wing, the east wing, and then the one on the underneath the stairs. There are two instances of this, and it just feels really cheap. In a game that is very fair, like, there's not many instances in this walkthrough where I've told you that the next fight coming up is bullshit. Do you remember in Gears of War 4, where I said the next fight coming up is not a skillful one, it's garbage, and I don't like it? And then every so often there'd be one that I said, this is a skillful fight, this is a classic Gears fight. Well, this game is almost all classic fights, because you can circumvent them with grenades, like I'm going to do right now with this next spawn. Rush into this room, chuck the grenade as high as you can, go into cover here, and then chuck another one just in case, and you'll pretty much neutralise this entire fight, and this can be quite a few enemies. And you might wonder, what's the point in sealing the emergence holes, seeing as I've not really explicitly mentioned it. It seems obvious to me, because I've been playing this series since it started, pretty much. But there are still people that might not understand this. There are people watching this that have never played a game. That's me getting stuck on the cover, by the way. You can always tell when I'm not happy, because I get mouse happy. But the emergence holes are essentially a spawn beacon. If you break the spawn beacon, they can't spawn. So that's what you do. If you've ever played Guardian in multiplayer, when you get rid of the leader, you can't respawn. It's the exact same concept. And you can kill them as they're climbing out of it while you seal the hole. So you get rid of all the enemies, all the future spawns, without having to engage them. And that's why it's so important to do this. Because there are some fights in this game where if you let those holes continually spew people out, it gets to the point where you're using a lot more ammunition and it gets a lot more difficult. So it's, as far as utility and just a functional walkthrough, in my opinion, you have to be sealing those holes. It's going to get those people who aren't good at the game able to get through these sequences, because if you're good at the game, you might not mind fighting a bunch of locusts and getting down and dirty and in the thick of it. But if you just want to get past it and get an achievement, or, you know, beat the game and send it back, or prove to a friend that you can beat it on Insane, you don't want to be going toe-to-toe with locusts, because it might not be your thing. And that's why these strategies have been tailored in such a way that I'm going to make sure anybody can get through this game, hopefully. Thank you for watching, and you take care now.